I mean, I wouldn't worry too much if it's one every week. Woodlice are very benign. Like silverfish, they're quite benign. However, they like damp and they nibble on decaying vegetable matter, wood, effectively. Now, they often do turn up in places like bathrooms and kitchens, sometimes because there is an existing, if not leak, a dampness, places like under the bath, in the, behind the kitchen sink there. There can be a minuscule leak, not enough to come forward, but enough just to keep it damp behind there. And that's where they're having their lunch. There might have been a leak some considerable time ago, and there is enough slight residual dampy, sawdusty stuff down there that they still occasionally go in. If it's only one every week or so, I really wouldn't worry too much about it, because it will dry out and they will go. If you have access to behind the bath without just ripping it out, have a look and see if it's completely dry behind there, and double check that you haven't got like a tiny little leak. I don't think if it's a big leak, you'd know about it. And likewise, kitchen sinks, you ought to. Sometimes if you go down, you've got a cabinet and you look and the hardboard at the back is sagging and you feel it and it's slightly damp, and it's not that you've got a leak, it's the condensation that picks up on the cold copper downpipe that's causing the problem. Something like that. Like I said, they're quite benign, don't worry. And for what's worth, they might have been at some point in, the past in your ground floor flat. They might have been a big problem. The holiday cottage that I used to clean, when I first did it, before it's now been altered, but when I first started working there, it had been a stable, a cattle shed. Was it a dairy? Something like that, anyway. Anyway, it had then been converted into a small bungalow. And it was fine. But my God, in the living room, the woodlice were a real problem, because in the past there had been a lot of wood. It was concrete, it wasn't wood, it was a concrete foundation, but there had been a lot of woodlice, and I suppose they were all around it and they were coming in. And if it was unused, which it was at the time for several months over the winter when it was cold, I would come in and it would literally look like somebody had got an entire bag of currants and thrown them all over the carpet. Dead woodlice. But over the years, because it's been kept heated and it's been kept clean and it's been kept warm, over time they've just gone away. Presumably it was just residual, slightly damp wood that they were nibbling away at and coming in, and then there was no wood and they were lost. God, I'm feeling sorry for woodlice now. But yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. But if they really bother you, do just check in case there's a spot of